Hey there, welcome to my little corner on YouTube. I have decided to call myself Beloved, and I'm here to share my journey with you, scars and all. My hope is to truthfully retrace where the wheel fell off the cart that is my life, and hopefully rediscover the ancient path as it is written in Jeremiah. Hopefully, along the way, I hope to heal the inner child within me, the teenage girl within me, and the grown woman that I have become. I'll do my best to navigate this journey with you in total honesty. Hopefully, we shall have a bit of laughter on the way, and there'll definitely be scoops and scoops of courage. Growing up, my identity was like a wild game of identity bingo. First, I was the firstborn daughter of a single mother, aka the unpaid co parent. Then I became the girl child from a relational and resource challenged background, which is fancy talk for having more drama and fewer toys. I particularly needed this tag when I was trying to source for scholarships. I quickly moved from being the unwanted child, I was an unwanted pregnancy, to the family savior when they realized that I was academically gifted. I was expected to finish education and come out ready and capable of solving everyone and their mama's problems. So, fast forward to my grown woman era, and being Miss Independent became the in thing. Thank you, Neo. This somehow tied in with a strong black woman, which has left me feeling like a glorified yet overworked donkey. Other labels I've gotten have included fatherless girl, good girl, uncomplicated, stubborn, you name it. At the end of it, as I think about it, now my whole identity looks like a salad that's as complicated as it is entertaining. But how has this impacted me? I mean, really? Well, I have paid people's bills. Let's start there. I have paid people's debts. I am always the girl that people reach out to when they need something resolved. I have been everybody's advisor. I am the one who offers a listening ear to everyone's problems. The money I could have made, gosh, I should have become a psychologist. I have taken on more work at work than I needed to, because how else will they know that I am the top dog version of a woman? And time again, I have failed to ask for help, even when I really needed it. Because of the years of my wiring, something just wouldn't allow me to need other people. I have dated people who I thought were in my league, but were not good for my soul or for my health. A daily concoction of this have led me to a dark place where not only did I feel entitled, but I got burnt out. I felt tired, I felt used, and I just hated life and the very people within it. But you know what? I came to the sad realization that I had played myself because, in all truth, no one had asked me to do any of these things. I mean, some people did, especially when it came to money. But when you came to relationships and the non-financial favors that I gave, they were all on me. I offered. No one pushed me to do any of them. No one asked me to do any of them. I was just simply living out the identities that had been placed on me and I had accepted as who I was. And it's not just me, right? Studies have shown that societal expectations can have a significant impact on an individual's self esteem and life outcomes. For instance, our society often imposes specific roles, behaviors, and characteristics on us, and we are expected to conform to. And they're based on factors like gender, race, socioeconomic status, etc. These expectations can be explicitly or implicitly stated, right? So, what then happens? We internalize these societal expectations, we accept them as truth about who we are, and this can be particularly strong during our formative years, our childhood, our adolescence, which is when our identity is being shaped. And then, when we meet or exceed these identities placed on us, we see our self esteem being positively impacted. However, when we fail to meet some or all of these expectations, this leads to negative self perception, lower self esteem, and of course, feelings of inadequacy or feelings of being a failure. Groups particularly impacted are the minority groups like women, racial minorities, or individuals from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. And this stereotypical categorization and labeling can result in significant negative outlook throughout their lives. If we consider women, we have often suffered due to the false identities imposed upon us, not only by society, but by broken or hurt individuals around us. Research shows that women who grow up with critical or emotional unavailable parents are more likely to struggle with self worth and may end up in unhealthy relationships. Just think about it. I mean, really think about it. What comes to your mind when you think of what your mom, dad, boyfriend, husband, teacher, and or pastor has said to you or to others about you, even if they just mentioned it in passing? How did this make you feel? But even more importantly, how did you adjust your behavior to either correct or amplify their perception of you? Women do crazy shit to fit or negate some false perception placed on them by people who are supposed to love them, see them for the treasures they are, and lead them to become the best versions of themselves. I highlight the 6 relationships above on purpose because these are the people whose opinions we care most about. And of course, coming in at a close seventh is maybe the boss, right? The impacts of social expectations on our self esteem is profound. It shapes how we see ourselves and our potential. And understanding this dynamic is crucial for not only developing interventions, but building more resilient and positive self identities free from the limiting labels society might impose on us. So, why is this relevant? Because identity is the essence of who we are. It's a combination of the characteristics, beliefs, experiences, and values that define us as individuals. Our identity encompasses various aspects: our name, gender, cultural background, religious beliefs, and personal experiences. It's the story we tell ourselves and the world about who we are. And it is not static, as you have seen from our introduction. It evolves over time as we grow, learn, and adapt to different circumstances. So, the sooner you understand how important this is, the better it is, not only for you, but for the people around you, for the community that you are a part of. You'll see that throughout history, various cultures have held ceremonies to celebrate and officially recognize the identity of a newborn child. These often include naming rituals, which significantly mark the entry of a child into a community. Consider the African cultures. You see that there are different ceremonies, such as the Isomoloruko in the Yoruba culture, where the child is given a name by the parents that reflects the circumstances surrounding the child's birth or the family's hopes for the child's future. The Namkaran ceremony of the Hindu culture names the child after the child's astrological sign. And while these are important and impactful events, I don't really know if adults ever sit back and consider how this impacts how the child grows up and journeys through life as an adult. While our identity may have been shaped by multiple influences, we do have a responsibility to not only understand it, but correct it and even decide it. As Dr. J says, not your fault, but in your lap. When we walk through life knowing who we truly are, we experience a sense of freedom and purpose that is unmatched. So, how can you go about understanding and, more importantly, deciding who you are? Psychologists recommend a combination of self reflection, explorations, getting comfortable with regularly confronting uncomfortable truths, and they have laid out a series of tools, exercises, and resources that can help you in this process. For example, self reflection and awareness can be done through journaling, through mindful meditation. So, this is where you regularly write out your thoughts, feelings, and experiences and reflect on questions like who you are, what are your core values, what roles do you play in your life. When you become more mindful about your thoughts and feelings without judgment, you are then able to see how these shape your actions and your interactions with other people. There is an exercise on values clarification where you write down a list of all the values that you think are your set of values, and then you reflect on where you got these values, how they influence your decisions and your behaviors. This is important because it can reveal what truly matters to you and what shapes your identity. There's also a fun exercise where you draw a life life wheel. So you draw a circle divided into sections, representing different areas of your life. So this could be career, relationships, health, and spirituality. And then on those sections, you rate your satisfaction in each area, identifying where your core values align and where they may be out of sync. You can also do timeline exercises where you create a timeline of the significant events of your life into your past, including both positive and negative experiences, and you reflect on how these events have shaped your identity. Understanding your past can provide insights into your current self concept. We need to learn about our history so that we can make sure we don't repeat it. Psychologists encourage doing a family dynamics exploration. Consider your family background, your family tree, and reflect on which roles were assigned to you based on the different interactions within your family and how have they impacted who you are today. There is an exercise on challenging limiting beliefs. So this is called cognitive behavioral therapy, and it utilizes a number of techniques which help in identifying and challenging negative and limiting beliefs about yourself. So this is where you're replacing negative thoughts with more positive thoughts, with daily affirmations or hourly affirmations or even dynamic affirmations, right? You thwart that negative thought the moment it pops its head. And then, of course, you have strength finders and personality assessments. So, this is where you do assessments, written out questionnaires that help you to identify what are your strengths, your weaknesses, where can you leverage, and what can you work on, right? We have tools like the Myers-Briggs type indicator, we have the Gallup Strengths Finder. Outside of these tools that we can do by ourselves and on paper, psychologists also encourage stepping out of your comfort zone, trying out new activities, hobbies, or social situations that challenge you, that you may not necessarily have ever experienced as a result of your background or the kind of people you surround yourself with. Taking on volunteer work, and if you can afford it, going for therapy. A number of books that would be helpful as you combine all these tools in figuring out who you are include The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown, Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan Cain, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and The Road Back to You by Ian Morgan Cron and Suzanne Stabile. My favorite is Spiritual Exploration. This, coupled with journaling and reading, has really helped me to shed off names and tags that have negatively impacted how I show up for myself every day in life. Through prayer, meditation, and studying the Bible, I have come to understand and to truly believe what God says about me. I have chosen to find my identity in Christ. And again, this is me. You could take a different path. And I'm learning that while society labels on me might be factual, they are not truth. Think of yourself like a car. Just like the manufacturer of a Mercedes Benz is the best placed person to tell you all about it. For me, God is the only one best placed to tell me all about myself. And He says that He has loved me with an everlasting love. He has drawn me in loving kindness. He has created me in His own image. And I am fearfully, which means I'm carefully and wonderfully made. So while other people might have looked at me and called me different things, only God's tag on me remains valid. So what does this mean? Identity remains a complex and multifaceted concept, and knowing who we are empowers us to walk through life with confidence, purpose, and a deep sense of belonging. So what do you think? What are some ways you are learning and reclaiming your identity, if at all? Do let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay blessed.